All right, everybody. A few minutes late. I was working on the background voices as we speak to the point where Connor is in the background in the window. Now he wasn't putting them up because I was busy looking at another screen. Hey, perfection is perfection, right? Work is work. So guys, it's coming. It's coming. I mean, I'm working on it. You know, it's if everything goes right, should be premiere this Wednesday at 8. We're just waiting on a few slackers to send me their voices. You know, just a few, just a couple. And once I get them, boom, it'll be up and running. But let me tell you guys.
And Eric, the people that make us wait for their voices, trust me, you and I, the writers of the next script, we're thinking about that. We're like, all right, who makes us wait? Who can we kill off to make our job easier? So, yeah, I already know who I'm aiming for next episode to get out of here.
Yeah. Who are we gonna kill off, huh? You made me wait to the last minute, or you're a no-show, huh? I might have to just revoice your voice too. But it is fun. It is fun. And anybody in the chat, if you guys haven't watched the first two, go ahead and watch it. Actually, the episode 1, I think I'm at 99 thumbs up. My God, I need one more thumbs up to make 100 on it. Somebody could do that. Then the second one, I'm only at 64 thumbs up. I need a lot of thumbs up on that one. But oh well. Hey guys, I got a lot here. I actually got a lot. Actually, I was very busy this morning, so let's just get right into the cryptids. Yeah, guys, I actually got a lot because I got a couple also additional videos from Connor on the paranormal side. So let's just get right into it. The first cryptid, hopefully a lot of you guys heard of it. You know, maybe some of you have not. If you haven't, that's even better. The first one's called if I say it wrong, oh well, who gives a shit? The Ningen. The Ningen. It's a strange Japanese cryptid. So it's a strange cryptid from the Japanese. So it's called the Ningen. I promise saying it wrong, but I'm sure the video is going to pronounce it the proper way. So
no,
you got it.
Go. You got it.
Ningen are Japanese mythical creatures that inhabit the sea. They're thought to be around 20 to 30 meters in length, with a vaguely humanoid shape, completely white body, long arms with webbed fingers, and potentially some kind of mermaid-like tail or fin. Sightings have been cropping up around Japan, mainly near the Arctic waters. Initially thought to be submarines due to their immense size, eyewitnesses have been baffled when they quickly dart away. The common explanation for these sightings is that they are beluga whales, which do seem to have a vaguely humanoid face and definitely fit the bill. They're large and white. However, even sightings have occurred on whale research boats, which you would have thought can tell the difference between a beluga whale and a Japanese mythical sea creature. So it really is one of Earth's mysteries. What exactly are the Ningen? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think they...
So Connor, in your own words, what is a Ningen?
I honestly think it's like a water deity, because some of these things are 30 meters to 300 feet long. So I think they are some type of extraterrestrial deity from underwater. But I definitely am big on the legend. The footage is definitely some creepy footage. That kind of looks more realistic footage with the eyes and the frontal view of its face. Most of the time, it's just large and blurred out. But these stories, you know, are from Japan all the way to South America, and even Antarctica has stories of these long white monsters, and I think it's so fascinating. And there's actually a sound that was recorded in the ocean that is like 10 times the size of the Empire State Building. So either those are some creatures from the Pacific Rim, Godzilla kaiju creatures, or maybe some of these water deities. And I think that they are transparent and maybe even turn into the water, like they are malleable with their size. Maybe their physical body isn't set in stone like how it's shaped. Maybe it's fluid with the water. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of it in Avatar or something.
Yeah, and you guys should type it in. There's some great documentaries on YouTube that's, 15, 30 minutes. I can't play 15, 30 minutes. Then the whole show is based on one video. I like to show variety. I like to see the less than 4 minutes. But there are some longer ones. And what Connor was talking about, I heard that in one of the longer videos. So you guys should check it out. Now, this one, first of all, I want everybody to relax. And what I mean is the next one's called the Pakistan Bigfoot, known as the BARMANOU. The Pakistan Bigfoot. And the reason I'm about to say this is the person who's telling this story is from Pakistan. So sometimes people like their narrator to speak a certain way. They wanted to speak smoothly or not. And I like sometimes hearing the stories from the people of that country. I love that, because to me, that's where I get more of the truth of an origin folklore story when it comes from somebody from that country. So if somebody has an issue with that, there's a million other channels you could go to. So please just have respect for the narrator for this next one. I love hearing Bigfoot stories from different parts of the United States, in the world, part of the countries, and even Bigfoot that has visited other planets, like Barry the Bigfoot. You guys know what I'm talking about. Here we go.
Viewers and listeners, we welcome you to our channel, Exist. Our today's topic is about a cryptid named BARMANOU. So many of you would think, what is a cryptid? So guys, cryptid is an animal or a creature whose existence is disputed because of lack of evidences. The studies around these subjects are called cryptozoology. Now let's talk about our today's subject, which is a Pakistani cryptid BARMANOU. BARMANOU is believed to be an ape-like animal or a massive wild man who covers his back with animal skins and hides, sometimes considered as a Pakistani equivalent of a Bigfoot. In many local folklores of northern Pakistan, they have a reputation of abducting women and kids. BARMANOU allegedly inhabits in the northern Pakistani mountain ranges of Karakoram and Chitral. Local beliefs that they found in Afghani mountain ranges as well, also in the Himalayas, which could make them share habitat with the other alleged cryptid named Yeti. BARMANOU allegedly have the characteristics which are similar to both apes and human. It's said to be a bipedal animal, means it can walk on 2 feet. Thought to be around 6 to 7 feet tall. Seems like a wild man, but a lot heavier and bulkier in appearance. Stories told us that it's a omnivore, were said to be a superb hunters. Also, local people think they like to feed on humans' flesh whenever they got the opportunity to get any. The first search about a BARMANOU-like wild man in Pakistan started in 1987 by a Spanish zoologist named Jordi McGraner. The 2-year research ended in 1990. Later, McGraner researched more and collected 50 plus first-hand sighting reports. In 1994, McGraner's colleague Dr. N. Maliciant also reported about an ape-like mysterious sound she heard during the search in Chitral's Shishiku Valley, but she didn't make further progress about the incident at that time, maybe because of a primal fear it possessed. Unfortunately, McGraner was killed in 2002 in Afghanistan and the research ended. So the question still needs to be answered. Do BARMANOU really exist? We just hope that more research will happen in future. So that's it for today.
Does it exist? I mean, that's the question, right? Does it exist? I think 100% yes. I feel that they exist. And of course, you can feel differently. And like I said, I love hearing stories that comes from the people from the country themselves. Some people don't. They got to have a certain way, a certain person that has to say it. And that's, if you're that kind, that's fine. That's fine. But I look for stories that I want to hear. If I can get the person from that country, I want to hear it from that person. So I want to appreciate and shout out to that narrator. He's awesome. He's just awesome. Now, guys, if you haven't seen my quote of the day, I have it pinned. The quote of the day is, "Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible." Remember that. Be kind whenever it's possible. It's always possible. So there's no excuse. Now, Connor, I don't know if you heard that much of the story. I haven't got the story narrator from Pakistan, which I love when the story comes from the people from that country about the it was called the Pakistan Bigfoot, the BARMANOU. Do you know anything different about the Pakistan Bigfoot BARMANOU versus the Yetis and the ones in America or Canada?
No, I haven't heard any difference. I'll have to go back to that news report and just see what's what. But I'm definitely intrigued. I saw Wreaking Havoc asked if anybody's ever seen a juvenile Sasquatch, and yes, they get spotted more often than not just because they're a little careless. They don't have their third eye all the way open, but best believe that a parent is always close. But yeah, they've been photographed up in trees before, seen on the back of mama's shoulders. The Independence Day footage, the mom goes over behind a boulder and picks up the baby. So yes, definitely the juveniles have been photographed before.
Yeah, and I like that belief that, because, you know, people would say it's always hard to get the pictures, and the ones you do get, they say are the younger ones because they're not as trained and smart as the older ones. And it does make sense. You know, teenagers are more careless than grown-ups. You know, they're more braver than that. So I can really see that. And I think, you know, Bigfoots are more closer to humans than we think.
Definitely, definitely. And they have some interesting growth rates and growth spurts. You know, after like 3 or 4 years, they get really, really big. So it's super interesting stuff. 50 years with Bigfoot, the Mary Green story, they got to see Fox, you know, raise a family. So they got to see when he had the little kids and then how fast they grew. And Janice Carter got to hand feed some of these baby Sasquatches. So there's definitely some remarkable stories out there.
Now, I technically do have one more cryptid. It was a very short, like 45 seconds. I was debating to have it because 45 seconds, but I'm like, you know, I already got the video. I already stripped it down. You know, why not? It's a short one. It's called the Almas cryptid. Possible Neanderthal, an ancient one. So it's very short. This is called the Almas.
Fellow paranormal enthusiasts, welcome to the video about the Almas. Reported to live in Central Asia and parts of Mongolia, the Almas is described as a wild man. said to be 5 to 6 feet tall with reddish-brown hair, a profound supraorbital ridge, or pronounced brow ridge, and a flat nose, similar to how Neanderthal might have looked. The people living in the mountain regions where the Almas possibly dwell claim that their people have had run-ins with the Almas for hundreds of years. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and if
like I said, that was very short, but I said, no, I'll play it anyway because maybe somebody might see the Almas and say, hey, I want to research more about the wild man. You know, I've heard Connor mention the words about the wild man and all that. And so I'm curious, Connor, the wild man that you mentioned, is that related to when you're about the Almas, or was that just something else?
Yes, that's definitely related. Almas is definitely just a cultural term, a tribal slang version for Bigfoot. You know, connects to wild man for sure. Some people say sabe, to know, or almas, almas, a lot of them. But yeah, it's just more terminology. But it's good to be, you know, familiar with these terms, just because we might hear some, you know, foreign-speaking person say almas, and it's actually something we are familiar with. So yes, it's just a normal Sasquatch and their tribal term for it, but I'm sure it does have some characteristics that are specific to that area. But yeah, man, just another type of Sasquatch.
Awesome. Like I said, guys, that was very short, but I said, you know, I already got the video. Why not just show it? So, guys, let's check out some paranormal. All right, guys, if you're guys going to go out and buy a house, you know, there's different reasons why buying a house. Would you look forward to buying a house that you know for a fact that it's haunted? You know, there's a guy, there's a guy in a high position in New Orleans. When you see the video, I can't remember the video if he's a senator or he's something, but I know he works in the government and he know that this place in New Orleans is haunted, and he went and bought it. I thought it was kind of a cool thing. I thought it was kind of a cool story. I just thought it's cool. Somebody from the government, in a way, that cares about the paranormal, believes in it. You know, to me, that's a thumbs up. So here we go.
Renters are often enticed to a property by kitchens and closet space. Some fearless home buyers in New Orleans are looking for more. In what's considered one of the most haunted cities in the U.S., homes supposedly inhabited by ghosts are a big draw. Jamie Wax has that story.
It's been said that in New Orleans, every house has a story. And with over 3 centuries of history, perhaps it shouldn't be surprising that some of the storytellers refuse to let a little thing like death silence them.
But there definitely is, at times, energy that is not ours, right? You feel a presence, you hear sounds, you know you doors open, TV turns on by itself, lights turn on by themselves.
Liz and Jason Williams purchased a historic home on legendary St. Charles Avenue just over a year ago.
Behind us in the dining room is the place where I think we hear the noises the most, the footsteps directly overhead.
The personal disclosure is all the more interesting because Jason isn't just a homeowner, but also a fixture of local politics.
Jason, you are the city council president of New Orleans.
I am.
Okay.
Second term.
In no city in America could I imagine a politician happily saying, yes, I live in a haunted house.
Well, we have a different relationship with the dead in the city of New Orleans.
Not only is it not a liability for a politician to say he lives in a haunted house in New Orleans, but a ghost could even be a selling point here, according to realtor and preservationist Katie Wittry.
You know, New Orleans has a storied past, and I feel that people relate to the narrative and the stories that the houses have had.
We headed to the oldest and most famous neighborhood in New Orleans, the French Quarter, where there's a ghost story around every corner.
It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, ground floor unit. And I had asked her why she'd actually put haunted on the sign. And she had said because the owner actually has felt spirits or ghosts actually in the space.
And here, ghostly presences don't just benefit residential properties, but commercial ones too, like restaurants Muriel's and Tableau. The restaurant's video of possible paranormal activity went viral.
I was in their wine cellar, and bottles just kept flying off of the shelves. And so now all of a sudden, people really want to be there.
It strikes me that for a record 7th time this year alone, as we do this interview, New Orleans is in the path of a hurricane.
You know, there's no other American city that has experienced such tragedy. And so we are a city of survivors. We have resilience, and
even our ghosts.
Even our ghosts have resilience. You know, why would they leave?
That's
why
right.
would they leave?
For CBS This Morning Saturday, Jamie Wax, New Orleans.
Ghosts are everywhere. Now you got to ask yourself, seriously, if you're buying a house and somebody put a sign on the house and just letting you know it is haunted, would you buy it? I know a lot of people say they would, but would they? Would they? I think I would. Yes, I did hear right before the show, I did hear that Olivia Newton-John passed away. I did hear that. I actually did hear that, Danny, that Olivia Newton-John passed away. And my wife told me, and then my daughter goes, who's Olivia Newton-John? I told my daughter, what? Who's Olivia Newton-John? She only played in the greatest musical movie of all time, Grease. You know, I love Grease. I'm not ashamed of it. I love Grease. If somebody asks me, Eric, what's your favorite musical? I always say it's Grease. I love Grease. You guys want to know another good musical? A lot of people might not think so. I know Johnny Depp is maybe not everybody's favorite right now, but I don't care. I love him in Cry Baby. I love the musical Cry Baby. I do. I love Cry Baby. I love Grease. Olivia Newton-John, she was only 73. I thought she was older, actually. 73, it sucks. But I love Grease. And there was a movie, she made another movie with John Travolta. Oh my God, I can't remember, but it was actually not bad. I think was it called Two of a Kind, where he has to make her like him, like he died. It's kind of a paranormal a movie, and a lot of people. I think it's called Two of a Kind. I gotta double check it. It's gonna kill me. Hold on a second. Two of a Kind. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah. I'll share the screen. A lot of people didn't know they made another movie together. I remembered it. It's right here. It's called Two of a Kind. And if I remember right, Trevor plays a cash-strapped inventor, while he a bank teller who attempts to rob. They must show compassion. Yeah. He must show compassion for another one in order to delay God's judgment from the earth. That's right. To make judgment from God. So it's a little sci-fi. It's a little sci-fi, and it actually is a guilty pleasure. I liked it, but it is very 80s, and I know a lot of people. It doesn't pass along very gracefully like a lot of other movies. But if you get a chance, watch Two of a Kind. It's kind of cool. Now, here's another real estate one. This is Denver. Real life haunted houses around town. So here's kind of another real estate of ghost houses.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the list. I'm Donna Rucco. Cowboys, miners, and eccentric billionaires are part of Colorado's rich and sometimes mysterious history. Mitch Weber has our city's most haunted houses. One of 3 things you want to know around Denver.
At number 1, real-life spooky places in our own backyard.
The Whitehead Peabody Mansion at 1128 Grant Street is perhaps the most haunted house of Denver.
Local historian and author Phil Goodstein leads walking ghost tours around Denver and shares stories you'd expect to see in a horror movie.
They're here. One is a poltergeist, a mischievous young boy that plays with the chandeliers, strobe balls, servants' bells. People across the street would suddenly see lights come on, where there was an elderly woman in a rocking chair.
No, it's not the Bates Hotel, just a haunted house in Capitol Hill. At number 2, in the market to buy a house that's not haunted?
Right now, we're looking at about 50% of the houses on market are under contract.
So if you're on the hunt, here are some tips to make it a little easier.
Being pre-qualified is key.
Find a realtor you like and
finding the neighborhood that you want to be in, what kind of house, how big the house you want to be.
And if price isn't an issue, the Taylor Estate in Lakewood just went on the market for a whopping $27.7 million.
Do a lot of processed food.
I don't care about the rest of it, but if you're looking for a house, hey, maybe a haunted house might be cheaper, unless Zach from Ghost Adventures buys it. I know, I heard that he's gone and bought. He'd been going around the country buying apparently haunted houses because he knows that he'll do a documentary there or something, and he'll say the house is haunted and baby to sell it more. Hey, that's a great dude. That's a business plan that he does. That's fine. I mean, can you imagine being that big where I just bought a haunted house? Oh yeah, it is haunted, and everybody wants to pay double for it. It's a great business deal. But beyond that, I'm going to show you guys. Let me see here. No, wrong button. Share the screen. Give me a second. Share the screen. I got to go over here because here's a story of a haunted place. Let me hold on.
Here we are at the Hosford School, which always gave me creepy vibes when I drove past. So I did some research and saw some stories submitted by students. The number one warning is to not walk over the paw print in the middle of the gymnasium when you're alone. Something will push you over. There's also been stories of teachers hearing students running through the halls and never seeing anything of any sign. Very, very interesting. Then I was told about that tree, that it only blooms dead leaves. Very, very.
Only dead leaves. Wow.
Here we are.
That's
Hosford School.
Now, when you first went by there, I remember in the beginning of the video, you said you didn't really know the history of it. When you found out there was more paranormal to it than you thought.
Yeah, I've been past that place like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, dude, that place is spooky. Like, there's something about it. And then yesterday, I knew I was going back there again, and I was filling up my gas, and I did some research while the gas pump was going, and I found like 3 or 4 stories submitted by students and teachers. So yeah, it was super cool. It ended up being like 4 really wild stories. Like, you can't walk across the paw print when you're alone. And then there was a teacher that heard a big group of students like in the hallway, and she went out, and it was totally silent. And then the tree, that's really cool too, that they said it would never bloom, and then it finally started blooming, and it was dead leaves only. So yeah, man, it's really a spooky place, and it's right on the edge of the Apalachicola National Forest. So you got a wide range of paranormal activity, cryptids, and then just the whole ley lines, the positioning of the whole Earth. It's crazy.
What's up, guys?
And then here's a little paranormal story that your buddy was telling us. So let's hear this story. He doesn't mind, does he? That I'm going to show this.
I filmed it. That's my footage.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I'm not pissing somebody off. I didn't want him to show it.
Yeah, he sure not let me record it if that was the case. But of course, he's cool.
Here we go.
I'm with my buddy Devin, who his dad had a close encounter with the 2-egg stump jumper. Let's hear about it, bro.
All right, so he was outside on the back porch smoking a cigarette, and he said that he went outside to smoke a cigarette. When he came back to go inside, he opened the door, and when he had his back turned, this loud, deep, rumbly roar came up, and he said he turned around and he had his phone light on. He shined it. He didn't see anything. Well, he goes back inside now, and like pretty much frenzy. I was in the house, and he comes in, and he runs over, freaking out, and I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Dude, just go lay down, just be quiet, don't say anything, just chill out." And he was just shook, like you could visibly see how shook him. My dad's a big guy. And to see him that shaky, it would have to be something serious.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing it. And he sounds like he survived, luckily.
Yeah. Crazy.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, it doesn't matter how big or small somebody is. You know, you ain't going to win against a ghost, right? I mean, I don't care how the biggest you are. If something's not there and pulling and grabbing you or anything, you're probably gonna shit your pants a little bit or run a little bit. You know, I know we all act like sometimes we're brave and stuff, but especially if it's dark and spooky, man.
Yeah, it was a cool story. Two-egg stump jumper. It's a type of Bigfoot, and I have a video coming out about him here soon. But it was just really cool to gather another witness. And it's so funny because sometimes I just get a vibe. I'm like, have you or any family members had skunk ape encounters? And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? And I'm like, I could just feel it. And that was one of those situations. I knew it right when he was buying the stuff. I knew he had something to say.
And you had the platform to bring it on out. Let's tell this world. Well, let's also talk about some UFO people. Actually, I'm going to shut up until I come over and I'll tell you guys why. All right, guys. This video I want to show is called the FBI Vault Reveals UFO Memo. Now, a lot of people in the UFO community probably all knows about this memo. So right now, when I'm saying, oh, the memo again, listen, a lot of people don't know about these UFO memos and stuff in the past. So this might be a first time for a lot of people. So the hardcore UFO people, relax. Everybody's here to learn, okay? So this is one of the files.
It's called the Vault. The FBI's
UFO people, if those hardcore UFO people that want to gatekeep UFO Twitter, if they haven't even seen Nope yet, then I don't want to hear it, you know?
You know, there's always people within communities like, oh, I know that story. I can't believe they're playing that story. And they act like everybody should know it because of them. Fuck that. We're all here to learn. So, guys, check this out. It's called the FBI UFO case.
Digital reading room, where any of us can go online and view the Bureau's most notorious cases. Guess which is the most popular file? John Dillinger's? Jimmy Hoffa's? Nope.
Since we opened the vault, it's been this memo about flying discs or flying saucers, and it relates to an allegation that we heard from a third hand.
Hold on. Do you guys hear that? People picking up files. The most popular one's not the Hoffas. It's not this other stuff. It's actually UFOs. So when people say that people are not into UFO, then wow, that's the number one file about UFOs? Huh, strange. People don't care, huh? People just don't care.
You know, saying that the Air Force had found a couple of saucers out in the New Mexico desert.
No, can't be. I mean, most people want to read about Machine Gun Kelly and Al Capone, right?
That's what you would think so, but this memo itself has gotten over 1 million page views in 2 years since we put it up. Al Capone doesn't make our top 50.
The memo's all of 2 paragraphs. Agent Guy Hoddle, then head of the FBI's Washington field office, writes that an Air Force investigator stated that 3 so-called flying saucers had been recovered in New Mexico. They were described as being circular in shape with raised centers, approximately 50 feet in diameter. Not only that, each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth of a very fine texture. Each body was bandaged in a manner similar to the blackout suits used by speed flyers and test pilots. John Fox is the FBI's historian.
This was never followed up on, right?
No, in fact, it says right here, no further evaluation was attempted concerning the above.
Why not?
From what's written here, from what we can read, it certainly looks like they thought that this was third-hand information, that this was not necessarily a hoax, which it could well have been, but that someone was simply reporting hearsay.
And it was more for the Air Force to look into, along with countless other reports of UFOs in Roswell, New Mexico and elsewhere, reports that were never substantiated. One reason the memo from Agent Hoddle went viral is because when the FBI vault was set up online 2 years ago, tabloids seized on that memo, saying it appeared to back up theories that aliens exist. And it's not just the Guy Hoddle memo that's a favorite. There are hundreds of other pages of memos and files in the FBI vault in the Unexplained Phenomenon section, all about alien and UFO sightings that are more popular online than the FBI's files on Bonnie and Clyde, serial killer Ted Bundy, and other famous cases. Cases involving Osama bin Laden, investigations into the murders of civil rights leaders, all part of FBI lore. Fox says out of all the strange cases he's come across,
the descriptions here of 50-foot diameter saucers and human-shaped 3-foot tall, metallic clothed aliens, that's unique.
Guys, I love that story. So I love it for the point of, like I said, people say people are not into it. Really? Wow, they're sure looking at that over Hoffa. Machine Gun Kelly, whatever everybody's name is, the president's assassinations. Wow, I guess people are really into UFOs and stuff. And if people are into it, that I would think in somewhat that you believe in it. Otherwise, if you don't believe in it, why are you even researching? Just to be a skeptic on purpose? I mean, honestly, why would you look at it? Why would you care? So there's more people that believe in this stuff than you think. And I hope that video just proves it right there that people are looking into more of this than anything else of the history of this United States of America. Now, next video, the UFO of Falcon Lake. Monica. So basically, Falcon Lake UFO incident. What's the story about that? Have you guys ever heard about the incident of Falcon Lake? Well, if you haven't, that's fantastic because you're about to hear the story about it.
Taking place in 1967, this is the UFO of Falcon Lake, Manitoba. On the May-long weekend of 1967, an amateur geologist named Stefan Michalik journeyed into the wilderness of Falcon Lake, Manitoba in search of quartz and silver in an outcropping he'd scoped out the year before. Tools in hand, he was near a veiny section of Precambrian shield rock when a flock of geese spooked him with their harsh honking. Looking up, his heart jumped in his throat at the sight of two glowing, hovering discs about 45 meters above. One landed on a flat section of granite, and the other flew away. After calmly observing it from a distance for a while, believing it to be a secret military craft, Stefan decided to approach. The scent of rotten eggs filled the warm air around him, and a whirring, hissing noise grew louder. In the side of the seamless metal saucer was an opening. He thought he heard muffled voices, but when he called out to offer his assistance, they fell silent. Stefan crept closer and tried to peer inside, but the lights were so blinding he had to pull down the welding goggles resting on his head. Without warning, 3 panels slid shut across the opening. He reached out to touch the metallic casing, and the tips of his gloves disintegrated, nearly burning his fingertips as well. The saucer began to move, and exhaust from a grid-like vent blew into his chest, setting his clothes ablaze. As he was tearing his shirt from his body, the craft flew away. Stefan ran from the forest, disoriented and vomiting, but managed to make his way back home. His burns were treated in hospital and later formed a distinct grid pattern on his torso. For many weeks afterward, he was sick with an unknown illness, and little pieces of metal collected from the cracks in the rocks where the incident took place were tested by the authorities and found to be radioactive. Whoa. To this very day, the circular landing site remains bereft of moss, even though it grows abundantly in the outcropping all around. This has been the U.S.
So, are we all still non-believers? of UFOs. We all think there's nothing out there flying around. I think there's something. There's something strange out there. There's something strange going on. And I'm not saying everything up there is okay. First of all, hold on. If you can't identify that, yes, everything you see in the sky are UFOs because they're unidentified flying object. Unless you know what it is, then it is technically a UFO. But I'm talking about a spacecraft from another world. Okay, we know probably 95%, 90%, 98%, 92% of what you're seeing is probably not real and not a spacecraft from another world. But you only need one. You only need one to prove that there is life out there and they could come here. I know there's life out there, but I mean to be able to get here on Earth, you only need one. So even if you think 95% is all fake, that's fine. Then you're looking for the 5%. With all these stories, there's got to be something to it. Now, can some of these stories be exaggerated? Of course. Every story gets a little exaggeration. You guys ever watch a movie about a true story? They're all exaggerated to get you watching. But there is truth within the story. You just gotta get a little broom and shuffle away the crumbles away. But the story is there. So there's always some kind of truth into some kind of a story. A folklore story. They come from somewhere. Are they all true? No. But there's something about them. You know, and let's do a fast shout out with all these awesome people from the chat. Look 'em, spook 'em. Welcome, my friend. Recon Havoc 215 was on Unidentified S4 channel. Awesome job. Great video. If you guys haven't watched that, jump on over to Unidentified S4. It was an awesome interview. You guys should check that out. Dog Face Boy, welcome. Mike, welcome. Janet, welcome. Oh, she's always a great friend. Man, you feel more comfortable when you're doing show. You have her in the chat. Wonderful people, just wonderful. Let me see here. Danny's here. Let's see. I know there's a lot of people at the beginning of the show. First Floor Audio, one of the best down the earth musician you're ever going to hear. What a fucking studio that he has. My God, I wish I could be making videos and stuff in his studio. My God. I mean, Connor, what you and I could do with these cartoons and stuff, we were in that studio. My God, we wouldn't even need help from outside people. Be like, you come to us. We're not coming to you to help.
We got our kitchen and our microphone and our dogs and cats.
Dina P, always great to see. Brown Dwarf, she wrote, was here. So hopefully, Paranormal Pixie, hopefully you're feeling a lot better. We would have loved to have you last night, but we understand when you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good. And I'm glad that you're honest to say, hey guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm not going to be able to do a good job on it. That takes guts. You know, if you're not feeling well, you're not, sometimes even though it's a cartoon, you're trying to give it your all. You're trying to give it that extra punch. And if you're not feeling well, and I appreciate you coming out with that. Hobbs, thank you for being here and all that. Now, guys, I don't have a Mandela effect, so sometimes I look at, is there some weird phenomenon in the world? It's always interesting. This one's kind of interesting. It's about volcanoes, but it's about the lightning of these volcanoes. It's always interesting that the volcanoes that have the lightning, why is there lightning from a volcano? I'm not saying this explains but answers, but I thought it was a cool little phenomenon. So here's a cool little extra video.
A volcanic eruption is one of nature's most breathtaking displays. Add light into the mix and you've got one of the most spectacular phenomena known to man: volcanic lightning. The science behind volcanic lightning has been hotly debated for years, and it's still not fully understood. So what do we know? It isn't lightning striking a volcano. The cause of these bolts is fire and ice. First, let's tackle ice. Powerful eruptions send a plume of ash high into the atmosphere, where temperatures of -4 degrees Fahrenheit freeze particles within the plume. The frozen particles collide with one another, creating an electric charge. The positive and negative charges separate from one another. Eventually, the distance between them becomes too great. The result is a spectacular discharge of lightning high up in the plume. But what about the lightning at the mouth of the volcano? Ice can't possibly form in this extreme heat, but the breaking rocks around the mouth and ash particles within the plume are capable of creating huge amounts of static electricity, rubbing together in the same way particles do when they freeze, creating lightning. So what you're seeing is actually a volcano making its own lightning.
You know, there are stories, or there's theories that a lot of UFOs fly around volcanoes and stuff. And this might be a far stretch. You know, you guys remember the movie Back to the Future? You know, to get back from 1955, they needed a bolt of lightning to get into the car to be able for Marty McFly to get back to 1985. Who says? I mean, I'm just, you know, this might be a stretch. Maybe UFOs need some lightning to recharge their flying device to get back to where they're from.
You know, I think you're onto something. I think it's a quick charge. My mind was going to, if these lightning bolts are striking or, you know, being attracted to these volcanoes, what's underneath the volcanoes? You know, and the UFOs are definitely interested. There's been rare sharks found swimming in volcanoes, so I think inside there's some type of energy, or maybe just an alien base, and that's just pulling the electricity, you know, directly to it. But yeah, man, I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. And listen, and somebody in the chat wrote, you know, space is fake, and there's no little green man flying around. And listen, you have every right for your belief. Nobody here is ever going to criticize anybody for their beliefs. Your belief is your belief. You don't think there's green men? Fine. You don't. Then there's not. You know, first of all, if there are little men, who says that technically an alien has to be green? It could be gray, black, brown.
I'm with that comment. You know, the whole space is fake, 1,000,000%. But I am big on there are extraterrestrials, extra land. Terra means land. So somewhere out there, Mars exists. I don't think Mars is like Elon Musk Mars, like a dot in the sky. No, Mars is an island. That's mapped out already. So yeah, I'm big on flat Earth and against the globe, but I am not on like there's no extraterrestrials. There is land and there is other versions of us, and I'm big on, you know, the globe limits us, but the flat Earth should expand us. Where some people, you know, they get on space is fake, so is aliens, so is God. Where I think it's, you know, bigger than we could ever imagine. I'm big on it's all Earth. Everything we've ever even thought about is Earth. Every other planet, every other universe, it's still Earth. That's where it gets interesting. When we leave, you know, our time, when we're spirit form, that's when we kind of learn, okay, what's outside of Earth? That's where my data is. So when people say space is fake, heck yeah, but I definitely think there's something else out there as well, though, too.
Everybody has their right to their beliefs, and nobody should be criticized for their religion beliefs, any kind of beliefs. Your belief is your belief, and when people criticize, it's because they're rotten people. You should never criticize other people for beliefs. You don't have to agree. Nobody agrees with anybody 100%, but your beliefs is your beliefs, and you should stick up for your beliefs. So beyond that, guys, let me tell you guys something real quick. I don't know if I'll be doing a show tomorrow, just because I got a lot of work to get done with the little 5-minute cartoon. If I want it out Wednesday night, I'm still waiting for people to send me some voices in. So if I can squeeze one in tomorrow, I will. But if I'm not, it's just because I'm working on the big one for Wednesday. So just wanted you guys to know that. Just like last time, I think I took Tuesday off because I just needed that 2-3 hours, because sometimes you got to crack a code on making things work, and it's worth it for me. So beyond that, guys, I want all of you to have a great day. And if I'm see you guys tomorrow, fantastic. If I don't, you guys better come Wednesday night, because episode 3 is literally out of this world.